another point that another group of people that'll be massively affected by the change CPI will be veterans, disabled veterans particularly. My son-in-law, case in point, is in his early 30s. He's an Iraq War veteran. He's on 80% disability. Now, he may live, hopefully, another 50 or more years. But when you start taking about, a little percent each year, by the time he's 60 or 70 years old, that's going to be thousands of dollars less a year, maybe more than $1,000 a month for his income. And then there are more than 100,000 other Americans would be veterans like that with PTSD and other disabilities from the war. And Virginia has more of them than any other state.
Wow.
More military veterans.
Yeah,
more military veterans than any other state. And so you should be very aware. A lot of veterans really aren't that aware of the conversation right now.
Right.
They're just becoming, aware of it. But it's
what they're trying to do, decrease it each year?
Well, they decrease the cost of living so that when the cost of living goes up 3%, people may only get 2%. So that your income will go down compared to the way things cost every year. So you make $100 this year, it'll only be worth $98 the next year, $97, $96.
Wow.
And until
there won't be anything.
You won't have that. You won't have that purchasing power, because I'm looking at if they cut it, everything, housing, utilities, food, clothes, they're gonna cost everybody the same thing. I mean, we're gonna have to pay the same thing that young people pay. They're not gonna have any difference there.
those things will go up, but the Social Security and disability benefits will go down.
They'll go down.
And I would imagine if you're receiving VA and Social Security, you get hit twice.
Yeah.
And that's sad.
When they should be going up, so they're coming down.
Well, they're going by the gross national product,
Yeah, I
right?
understand that.
And this CPI, where's that thing going with?
The CPI, Consumer Price Index.
Consumer Price Index.
Consumer Price Index, yeah.
But the
Consumer
president,
Price
he's for it
Index.
because I heard it.
Consumer Price
He's for
Index.
that.
He is for that. That's somewhat why the conversation has started up again, because he came out in his budget. The president put change CPI in his budget.
As an active Virginia Democrat, I'm aware that Senator Warner's strong position in favor of including the change CPI has influenced the president to go that way. And we're very upset with that.
You think so?
CPI.
Okay.
Well, what are some suggestions that you would have in regards to how we can fix the problem for the future in terms of Social Security and Medicare?
I think in terms of Medicare, I was an auditor with the IG of Agriculture for 20 years, and I just think the public is being so unfair on Medicare. I see changes and controls being put in place. For instance, I take my husband, who's a diabetic, to a podiatrist, and he gets certain benefits that I'm not allowed to get, and it's always been that way. However, now they must have verification. That podiatrist must have verification from the medical doctor that my husband is a diabetic. So there are controls, and I see them in place. And everybody's saying, we don't see a difference in cost. There is. There has to be. And I've heard them say that. And I think the public is not being fair there, because I can see it. That is one thing. We should let this work out, and we'll work through it together and try to bring, we got, what is it? All the records are now electronic. So that means that there's going to be more controls.
So they're getting rid of more fraud, is that what you mean?
That's right.
And that's always been the president's position, that this is going
right.
to help Medicare to get rid of the fraud.
That's right.
In addition, there's something about the drug situation. If they can just, what is that term?
It's allowing, which they do with the VA, if they would allow all of us
Negotiation. I think
to
that's the word.
negotiate our drug prices in the United States.
That's
I mean, why should American retired groups and individuals be buying their drugs from somebody in Canada so they can get, it's the same drugs? Just like the VA, we ought to be able to negotiate those prices right here. That would knock the cost of healthcare way down. And it would save Medicare a lot of
And
money.
again, I can just see my husband must take 14 or 15 different medicines. And I can tell you, we used to pay, because we were with Blue Cross Blue Shield, we used to pay $70. I do see a change. But we're sitting up saying, oh, there's no change. There is a change. Because we're now able to get a generic. And it's working. So I think we should look at the figures and be able to support them. I think we should also look at, and I've told this, I know how Senator Warner talks about adding that one little year. But please tell him when he look at that one little year, look at age discrimination. And I can get in any crowd and somebody will bring up about a loss of a job. I mean, anybody, in all colors, all kind of incomes, I hear it. So,
Also for the Social Security, the cap. What statistics have shown that the cap was eliminated, Social Security would be well solvent for decades.
30 years more.
And also, I happen to believe that the economy is getting better. And consequently, you're going to have more people paying into Social Security because of that, with more people having jobs and all. So that combination of getting rid of the cap and then the economy getting stronger, I mean, just be decades that Social Security will be strong.
So full retirement is 67.5, right? Now. So you want to raise it to what, 68.5?
There's
And I
already
think
people
it's
who
because,
pay
well, I don't know what happened during Clinton's time. They had all of these seniors on the television, and they was talking about how good they were living and everything. And the next thing we knew, at a certain income, you had to start paying taxes on Social Security. Because my husband and I, we pay tax on Social Security. And I just think that's bad. But that, I think it's what, it's about 90%.
President Bill Clinton.
Sure did.
Yeah, he did a whole lot of, I mean, he did a whole lot of good, but he did a whole lot of bad.
That was his deal with Newt Gingrich. The Newt.
And everybody, if everybody can work and put into the Social Security system, I think it would be better. You know, like the illegal immigrants. You know, they keep talking about that, go ahead and let them become legal. And let them pay into the system too.
There you go.
And if everybody's putting in the pot, I think it would get better. That would help preserve Social Security longer.